Yeah, Mike, the run game has been a point of emphasis, even dating back to the offseason. What do you remember about kind of establishing that as a point of emphasis, and how have you seen this offense embrace it throughout fall camp and throughout this season so far?
Well, I think I said it after the last time I talked. That was going to be the number one emphasis for us offensively. It was the number one emphasis for us defensively. So it's been a point of emphasis since we got back after last year and started talking about moving forward what our identity was going to be. And it was not about words. It was about going to work and making sure we had the right plan offensively to put our guys in position to be able to run the ball. So, when you say, what does that mean? Well, we went back to square one. We went back and talked through every run, our alignment, our steps, our aiming points. We took nothing for granted. And we had every coach back. We had two additions in Coach Lilly and Coach Field, but we took nothing for granted as a staff and said, hey, we're going to run the ball better. And, how are you going to run the ball better? You lost 3-4 guys to the NFL. We're going to run the ball better because we're going to make it a priority for this football team. And, that was not just talked about when we got back. It was talked about every single day up until before the first football game, and it's talked about since. And we talk about it, and then we go out there and we live it in how we practice. And they embrace that. If you weren't going to be hard, you weren't going to have a chance to get on the field on offense, and not just our offensive line, our tight ends, man. Early in the year, they weren't getting a lot of catches, but they were playing extremely unselfish and blocking their tails off, not just in the core but on the perimeter. Our receivers, we were struggling to get the passing game going early, but our receivers were blocking their tails off. And then we'd have our Friday night meetings before the game, and going around, and I'm asking kids, what do we need to do to win? And the receivers are talking about, I need to block on the perimeter. I need to strain, and those guys bought in. And I can't say enough about those players and their coaches getting their kids to buy in to our vision of what we want to do on offense, and totally unselfish. And I think that goes, to who we talked about earlier, our leader, Gunnar Stockton. He's unselfish. And then as the offense continued to pick up and we gained more confidence and we became, be able to do more than just run the ball and stretch the ball downfield but install more volume in offense, I think it's gave us more confidence, and we've become a little bit harder to stop. And then also the +1 in the running game. It's 4 yards here, it's 5 yards here, it's 3 yards here. Gunnar, instead of, throwing the ball away, it's 2nd and 7 or it's 2nd and 6. It goes from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 1. Big play in the Ole Miss game is 2nd and 7, and he scrambles out to our bench and he gets it to 3rd and 1. It might have been right before Josh broke the tackle and we got the